Kenichi Morisato is trying to order some takeout, but ends up calling the God's helpline. The God's Danny appears in his room through a mirror and tells him that she can grant him one wish. Kenichi believes that she's joking and ends up telling her that he wants her to be his girlfriend forevermore. To his surprise, his wish is granted. Unfortunately, his doormates return to see the goddess and kick the two out. While the two try and find a new place, they come across an old abandoned temple and decide to live there. Though the plot of the OVA is similar to the TV series, I found the OVA more enjoyable to watch, even though it's 5 episodes long. It focused more on Kenichi and Danny's relationship, or at least made it more believable than the TV series, which focused more on the humor than the relationship. Before you tell me in the comments that you think the TV series did focus on their relationship, let me just say that it didn't feel like it to me. It's more like someone came up to Kenichi, hands Danny to him while saying, "Here's your new girlfriend," and walk off while Kenichi is scratching his head and asks what now throughout the show. Though he does try to make the relationship work here and there, it's just that Danny would stand there smiling, which in my opinion seems like Kenichi is the only one who wants the relationship. The OVA, on the other hand, actually has the relationship between the two more believable in my opinion. For example, in the second episode, Kenichi takes Danny to the beach even though he can't swim very well because she's never been to one. While there, he is tricked by the goddess's sister to drink a love potion, which accidentally caused him to fall in love with another woman. Because of this, Danny is heartbroken and thinks that he doesn't love her anymore. However, she does find out that gave him a potion and demands her to reverse the effects of it. After Kenichi is back to normal, both Kenichi and Danny talk about the events of that day. Also, the OVA was better than the TV series. After the wish was granted, I could see that both Kenichi and Danny were slowly falling in love with each other, and by the 4th episode, they had a hard time being separated for a certain amount of time. For the TV series, it was like the writers didn't know where to go after the first episode and tried to hide it with humor. Another thing is how the two shows start. Let's compare.
Infinite space. It brims with so many different life forms. And in this space can also be found the source of all life. For this is where the cycle of life repeats itself within the endless flow of time. So how did this vast universe come into being? These stars that are born only to vanish, in what way are their fates determined?
Fate. Are all living things then bound by this thing we call fate? And here on this tiny little planet, life also exists in many different forms, and much is determined by the hands of fate.
Life begins.
And life ends as well.
In the brief amount of time that they have, people live their lives as best they can, until at last they come to an end.
This is a species that has always followed its desires, and has continued to evolve.
Succeeding.
Failing.
Creating.
Destroying.
Could it be that even though humans have created all this, they are still controlled by fate? And if so, is this something that is completely immutable? Furthermore, what if one's fate were suddenly wrested away from them to be controlled by an unknown being with no regard to their free will? If indeed your fate is being controlled by the hands of some unknown being, then who or what could this unknown being be?
Rise and shine, Morisato! Come on, wake up!
you've reached Nakomi Tech Men's dorm. This is Keiichi. Yes, sir? Well, you'll need to speak to my senpai, Tamiya. No, I'm afraid he's not here right now. Yes, sir. Well, but he should be back by 6 o'clock or so. Uh-huh. Right. Well, don't worry. I'll be sure and tell him. You're Mr. Yoshida, right? Thank you.
The TV series is quick to state how unlucky Kenichi is, while the OVA makes the viewers slowly get to know him. As for the characters, they're about the same as their TV counterparts, except for Belldandy. Both characters are nice and friendly. However, the Belldandy from the TV series is way too naive and trusting that she almost gets raped within the first few episodes. And speaking of a few episodes, every time she talks after a while, I see her as a 1950s housewife, which I would not be surprised if some female viewers may be offended and or hate her because of it. Also, she's always cheerful and rarely shows any other emotions. Sure, there was an episode where you see her get jealous, but appears in the second season, which I didn't care for the show by that point. As for Belldandy from the OVA, she does show more emotions besides happiness throughout the show, and isn't as naive and trusting as her TV counterpart. Also, there are moments that I would forget that she's a goddess because she rarely uses her powers. Unlike her TV counterpart, there is a moment where she meets Kenichi once before when they are kids. After watching the OVA, I often wonder why this Belldandy wasn't in the TV series. Though I enjoy the OVA more than the TV series, I only have two small complaints about it. One of them is how much time has passed within the story between episodes. It may seem like a few days or a few months have passed. The second complaint I have is that it's too short. I wish it was a little bit longer and showed the side characters a little bit more, like Belldandy's sisters earned in school, as well as the Auto Club members. I give the Oh My Gods OVA 4 out of 5 stars. Also, I would recommend this OVA to anyone who has not seen a harem anime and or the Oh My Gods franchise.